Good morning. Is this thing on? Everybody, anybody here today? How are we? How are we doing? Welcome to the channel. This is Stock Markets with Bruce. I'm Uncle Bruce. My viewers coined the term. Nice to see you all this morning. It's Friday. It's Friday. Friday, November the 1st. Not only Friday, it's a new month. The 11th month of the year. Here in good old 2024, I was going to say 1924, 2024. Oh my gosh, I tell you, just thinking about that, 1924, just thought occurred to me that when I entered the business, the brokerage business, I started as an investor in 1978, became a broker in 1979, and at that time, it had been 50 years since 1929. And the big crash, and that was the big term that we all used as stockbrokers back in the day, in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. 1929 was the big one, and a lot of facts have been glossed over, and a lot of the details of the crash of 29 have been long lost, but the actual historical actual numbers exist, and there have been books written about the demise of the market that took years to do. The 1920s, the Roaring 20s, the stock market blow up was not a one-day event, and it didn't happen in 1 week. It happened over quite a few years, and finally culminated in the explosion of the crash of the market that we now associate, or we did associate, as the biggest crash of all time. Funny enough, I become a broker in 79, and by 1987, I'm the vice president of a brokerage firm. I'd already been a branch manager of a firm. I had 40 employees working for me, brokers and support staff and everything else. And in 1987, we then had the greatest stock market crash in one day in the history of the stock markets. That was 1987. That's 37 years ago. And I was 32 at that time, 32 years old, and I was part of the greatest one-day meltdown in stock market history, and it hasn't been worse than that since. And who was the president of the United States? A Republican president at that time named Ronald Reagan, the god of Republicans, Ronnie Reagan. We used to make jokes about this guy around the world. There were videos made by rock groups that were panning this guy. Clueless, no idea what he was talking about. Former actor with a monkey called Bonzo or Gonzo or whatever his name was. And his wife, Nancy. We teased those people, and we looked at them as clowns because at the end of the day, he would say one thing about getting government out of your life and then do the opposite, and everyone forgave him. By the time Ron left office 8 years later, people were sorry to see him go, kind of thing. But unfortunately for the gentleman, within a year or two, he began to forget his how to tie his shoelaces and died in 93 of Alzheimer's or something in that range. Lived into his 90s, 91, something like that. But unfortunately, his last 10 years were not great. And part of those were in the White House. They sheltered him from the media like you cannot believe. That was then. But 1987 was the big Black Monday. That was the worst day in stock market history. And we couldn't even get a quote. We could not get a quote on a stock. Our quote machines were analog at that time. And everything jammed up around the world, not from New York to Jersey. I'm talking not USA, not North America. I'm talking global communication shut down, overload, couldn't handle it. And people were asking, what's IBM trading at? Nobody knew. We had to do it by telephone, and even the phones got jammed up from time to time. And so in those days, in my office, the desk traders who used to phone the orders into the desk trading hub in Toronto, our head office, my desk trader would talk to the Toronto guys. The Toronto guys would call the floor and talk to the floor runners, and the floor runners would tell over the phone what the quotes were for the top, say, Dow 30 stocks, maybe the top 10. GM, US Steel, AT&T, IBM, many names don't exist anymore except for IBM on the Dow 30 anyway. And then the traders would write these numbers down, and then they would phone the desks. In our case, in Calgary, there was a call made to Vancouver, a call made to Montreal. These branch offices would get the calls, and they would then rattle off the list of stocks and their latest quotes. And then my desk trader would stand up in the trading desk and yell across the office, and the whole office would go silent. We'd all stop talking, and we would all write down what they were yelling at us, telling us what the stocks were doing. And by the time I got it and I called my client, it was 5 minutes later, and it completely changed again, lower and lower and lower. And we couldn't get an order in and out. We couldn't get a fill. We couldn't put in a marker. It was nuts. It was insanity. The greatest meltdown of all time during Ronald Reagan's presidency, that today right-wing extremists look at as the good old days, and he was the greatest president of all time. You have no idea what you're talking about. You weren't there. You don't know what you're talking about. In any event, what can I say? They replaced Ronnie with George W. Bush, the father. He had street cred. He did have street cred. And George had to do what Ronnie would never do. And George did what no Republican has had the guts to do since. He raised taxes, because George W. Bush inherited the Reagan economy that was bleeding money left, right, and center, killing American jobs, factories shutting down everywhere. Ronnie made sure, with his policies and his so-called tax-friendly tax cuts and not getting government involved in business, he destroyed the United States economy to set it up so by the time George took over for his 4 years in the White House, he had to clean up one hell of a mess. And the first thing he had to do, he had to raise taxes, because Americans were running a deficit in a percentage term that was unsustainable. The American dollar was getting hammered across the world. It had no respect whatsoever. George did what he did. Unfortunately for George, he had to do this in his second year of his presidency, roughly. By the time it was re-election time, Clinton came in, and Ross Perot came in, and he was knocked out because his right-wing vote was split between Ross Perot and George W. And Clinton came down the middle with his centrist policies and took over the White House and held it for 8 years despite all the attempted scandals. But during Clinton's presidency, the George Bush tax increases came through the economic system and the Treasury to the point where the United States government, during Clinton's years in office, from his maybe third year on, ran a surplus. The United States government had a surplus for years, and the United States Treasury stopped issuing 30-year bonds. They didn't need the money. All of a sudden, the United States Treasury, every week, 30-year bonds were maturing from the 50s, 30 years ago, or the 60s. The Treasury was buying up 30-year bonds and not issuing new ones. Didn't need the money. And the 10-year notes, a bunch of them were being bought back. The 20-year notes, the 5 years, the U.S. Treasury would only issue a fraction of the bonds that had been that were maturing out, and that ran for quite a while. The U.S. dollar rose dramatically. Jobs were created everywhere. Prosperity ruled, and the Democrats are going, see, when you run a surplus, times are good. But the Republicans wanted to focus on Bill Clinton's extramarital affairs and whatever else, not the policies, because you're not going to defeat a Democratic president with a positive budget. And the first thing that George Jr. did, George Bush Jr., in his first 2 years, is he announced a massive tax decrease. for the American public and millionaires and billionaires and corporations. And within 1.5 years, the United States entered the greatest depression and deficit spending of all time. Again, on a percentage basis, George Bush Jr. screwed it all up within 6-8 months. And the United States has not been able to recover since. It's been amazing. As a matter of fact, after George Bush left the White House, Obama took over, and the Republicans then said it's time to rein in spending because our deficits are out of control. Well, who made that happen? George Jr. made that happen. And so now Obama was having trouble getting budgets through because, of course, the Senate run by the Republicans didn't want to play ball. Welcome to politics. Welcome to the world of where it was. I was there. All right. If you weren't there, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Go on with all your greatness and all that talk. Shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. By the way, you want to make America great again? Those folks who want to do that, just want to remind you about this. Making America great again, the thinking is we're going to bring back all those factory jobs. We're going to bring back all the manufacturing back to the United States and create all this job creation and all this manufacturing job creation. There's one little problem with that. Just one tiny little thingy that no one wants to talk about on the Republican side. All the jobs that were eliminated during the 70s and the 80s when the Rust Belt became the Rust Belt, those are all union jobs. You want to make America great again? You're going to have to create 10 million unionized jobs in manufacturing centers. I don't see a Republican anywhere that wants to do that. Not a single one anywhere. They're all anti-union, left, right, and center. So you want to make America great again? You've got to go back to the 50s and 60s where a third of all jobs were unionized, where workers had rights, they had protections, they had bargaining power. The last 30 years for Americans, 40 years, has been a slaughterhouse for most American workers because most American workers today are getting paid a fraction of what their parents and grandparents used to get. And when it comes to pensions, there are no pensions anymore in the private sector for most Americans. The only Americans that are getting a decent pension are those with government jobs, unionized workers, and those who are part of startup companies that offer generous stock compensation to all employees where they match the contribution and the companies were successful. Unfortunately, in the private sector, not every single public company that goes public is successful. And so there are millions, tens of millions of Americans who have had gazillions of share options given to them as part of their employment contract. This is in Canada too, and in the UK, and in some of the countries in Europe, where their stocks were delisted and are worthless, and they've lost it all. And there are countless of millions of Americans who've retired in the last 20 years who thought 10 years prior to that they would have a comfortable retirement because of all the stock that they were generating and getting from their employer, because that was the new way to retire in America. Let the private sector help retirees retire. And unfortunately, 10-20% of those folks made it. They were the employees of Amazon. They were the employees of FedEx, or they were employees of companies that paid out stock that still trades to this day. But there are tens of millions who were wiped out and were bankrupted by the companies they worked for because their pensions were tied to the stock of their companies who ultimately went bust. Whether it was 9/11 that put them under, the financial crisis that put them under, total mismanagement put them under, or high inflation, bad business decisions, or the dot-com bubble that wiped out 1,000 public companies in 2 years. Tens of millions of Americans got ripped off and are still paying the price if they're still alive, because a lot of folks who retired at age 65 in 1990 would now be 100 years old. They're not here anymore. They don't vote anymore. They don't complain anymore. They're dead. And politicians today only need to get the vote of people that are alive right here, right now. And the good news for certain politicians is the people who are alive today have no memory of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, because they weren't around as adults at the time. And they're so gullible that they believe anything they see on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on whatever. They don't have a Walter Cronkite that they can trust anymore. And so the news is fractured everywhere and no one is getting the story. And so here we are. We're in an election where Americans hate Americans, which is unthinkable. And there is no negotiating in between the two. It's staggering to see. And yet, unfortunately, and amazingly to me, I cannot believe how many tens of millions of Americans will vote in the ballot box against their own interests. That's the shocker to many of us on the outside looking in. We cannot believe how Americans will vote to bring people into power who are promising to make their lives absolutely miserable with cuts. Social security cuts, welfare cuts, benefit cuts, education subsidy cuts, healthcare, you name it, across the board. This so-called get government out of my life. It's incredible how many people are willing to cut their own throats for an ideology. It's incredible. It's just amazing. But that's, the history of the world. And it goes from one extreme to another extreme over decades of time. You can go back to the Newt Gingrich days during Clinton's presidency to see the new right-wing Republican Party getting formed and getting created. And the Tea Party people, and then eventually Trump himself. The entire right wing has completely metamorphosized into what it is now, a one-guy dictatorial leader of a party with all the former leaders and all the former wise men nullified, eviscerated, and it's all just one guy who's now 80 years old. Amazing to me. Is it any wonder Turkey is run by a dictator who's 84? Is it any wonder that China is run by a dictator who's about 80 himself? Is it any wonder Russia is run by a guy who's going to turn 80 shortly, 79 right now? We've got these dictators around the world that are in the last 5-10 years of their life who are getting even with their political rivals in very scary ways. And unfortunately, in many countries, political enemies are in jail and they don't live long once they get there. It's quite scary to watch. Apparently, there's a new law being attempted to be passed in Turkey, some kind of a foreigner influential law. It's a freedom of the press law. It's basically to outlaw all freedom of the press in Turkey, to criticize Turkish politicians, including the president of the country, the dictator of Turkey. In Afghanistan, they just voted in a new law the other day. Women cannot communicate with each other. It is illegal for women in Afghanistan to communicate with each other in public. So a woman cannot get on a soapbox and have a chat in a park in front of 10, 15, 20 people. That is illegal now. Women cannot broadcast. Women cannot be journalists, cannot write, cannot be distributed in this way. The clampdown of female rights across this planet is unprecedented and is the scariest thing I have ever seen in my lifetime. I cannot believe how rampant this is. I have a suspicion that in the United States, Kamala Harris is going to win the election in a walk. I really do. I believe that the early voting that's already gone on, 65 million early votes, strongly Democratic showing up, and 58% of the voters who've already voted in advance are women. And they're angry, my friends. They're pissed off. And you forget, many of you may have forgotten, that the week after Donald Trump won the presidency in 2016, there was a march in Washington of women. The Pink March, do you remember this at all with the pink toques? There were 4 million that marched across the U.S. that day, if not 5 million, across all of the United States. And in the presidential midterms, Trump's midterms, he lost the Congress. The next election, he lost it, and he lost the Senate and the Congress. It continued to go to the Democratic side. Women have not stopped making the vote. And this one right now, I think that there is a female vote that has already been had and will be had right through the election that will be definitely towards Harris. And all the white men in the world can't stop it. There aren't enough of us. We'll find out on Tuesday night, but I have a suspicion it won't even be close. I think that the swing states are already over to the other side, because in the last week, if you haven't noticed the vitriol, the anger, the hate, the messaging from the Republican side in the last week, you are blind, you are ignorant, you are not listening, you are not comprehending what they are proposing. There are people in the wings waiting to take over the cabinet positions to go after enemies of the state that they consider enemies of the state, anyone not thinking like they think. And it's going to be a purge. And I have a feeling the women out there are going, oh no, we're not playing that game anymore. You had your little fun with the Supreme Court. It's a basket case. We're putting a stop to it right now. There's a female march this Saturday in Washington. It will be huge. I think the media will be unable to ignore it, because I believe in the last 3 months, if not the last 6 months, the United States media as a group that is predominantly, if not completely, privately owned and operated, is owned and operated by a lot of right-wing leaning people, and they don't want you to know what's really going on in the big picture. They want you to know what's happening in select areas only, so that the poll positions, the poll numbers, show a 50-50 split, so that your eyeballs are glued to the television set, glued to the podcast, glued to YouTube channels, glued to newspaper sites. They don't want to lose this attention span that you're giving them, because the amount of advertising that the private sector of the United States is generating from political ads, from City Hall to the library, to the sheriff, to the school boards, to the Senate, to the state elections houses, and to the federal side, is unprecedented. Trillions, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. It's unbelievable. All that, the party is over after Tuesday, except for all the legal cases that will now come up. Fraud on both sides will be now accused. If you don't vote one direction, you're obviously cheating. If you vote the other direction, you're obviously cheating. And so we're going to get that starting Wednesday of next week. But I think that the base vote has already been baked in. But this is my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You figure it out yourself. I'm just in Canada looking in from the outside. And from the outside, we see mayhem and craziness. From the inside, you guys have your own opinion. You decide what you think. It's your call. And those of you who are Americans, good luck to you. I have no idea how this is, how the event will unfold. I'm hoping there isn't going to be violence. Just hoping that these votes happen. And I can now understand already why have already 65 million Americans pre-voted. They're afraid to be in the lineup on polling day. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be in front of any building in a line with the crazies out there. They want to vote now, get the vote done, and be at home and lock the doors and watch the results on television. Can you blame women? Can you blame women who are voting early? They're terrified of their own country. It's scary. It's pathetic. It's a country that's losing its way, and it's a sad, sad story. And there you have it. There's the story right there. Welcome all to my program, my opinion. You decide what you want to decide. It is going to be really something crazy. Thank you for joining us, Sharon. Thank you. Number one today, Kevin and I are looking forward to Monday's traveling show. I am too. Looking forward to that. The Big E is in the house. Thank you. Richard, thank you for being here. Good morning, Higinio, if I can pronounce that right. Margin Called is here. Ding Chavez, welcome. Dude, Corinne, Eddie, Aurora, good morning. Lee, good morning. Burrow King Sound, how you doing? Georgetown, Guyana, welcome, my friend. Charlie, good morning, everybody. Burrow King is here. Splair, I love those stories from the past market events. Vladdy, welcome. Depeche, Black Monday. My mom was senior VP of a huge brokerage firm. It was all she talked about, the disaster of 1987. After 87's crash, all the circuit breakers came into play. that they were created by the market officials. Upgrades were done on the floor computers immediately to handle any future kind of volumes. All brokerage firms had to greatly upgrade their systems. It was unbelievable. The Bloomberg people with their terminals were now cutting edge computer software and digital handling the digital program. Cable was now the way to get market quotes into brokerage office through cable, not through telephone lines anymore. It was a complete change of the market. James and Mr. G, good morning, Lumber Lucky 43. Who else is here? Let's go. I'm going to try to avoid any and all political comments if I can. I don't know. The only thing I don't like when the government has a surplus means they're taking too much taxes out of people's pockets. No, it's they're trying to pay off 40 years of ineptness because we are in debt up to our eyeballs. Governments need to run surpluses for the next 20 years to get anywhere near cutting down the debt. That's my opinion on it. Ricardo, Uncle Bruce on a rent. I love it, telling the truth. Let's see, what's going on here? Excuse me. Welcome all. Railroads offer pensions. Yeah, there are some. Yeah, but the vast majority of those are gone. D.A. Truda, number 50, welcome. Good morning, all. Number 51, says Zach. And Bruce is cooking right now, says Jared. Let's see. Thanks to Uncle Bruce, says Ding Savage. I might be able to get away from my job at Walmart. Alex, good morning, everybody. Number 52, I'm eyeing up Meta put credit spreads today. Premiums are juicy. Stephen Butler, good morning, everybody. Jared is here. Number 55, thumbs ups. Thank you all. Let's see. What else is going on? Let's see. What do I say here? What can I say? Let's keep going. I just want to get through to the markets. Let's talk markets. Thank you, everybody. Let's go. I like the poll question, says Splair. I like your poll question. Oh, by the way, yeah, that is up there. The poll question, my friends and family say I am using new words like in the money, out of the money, stink bids, cash secured puts, etc. 125 of you have voted on this poll question. 53% saying no, not yet, but 47% of you going, yeah, I'm guilty of this. People are asking me, where are you coming up with these terms? You've never talked like this before. This is kind of weird. Yes, those of you who are hanging out this channel and doing the classes and writing options and making money in this market, you're using new words you've never used before, and some of your friends and relatives who haven't seen you in a while are going, where are you getting these words from? I don't know what this means. For you, it's just, well, this is how I talk. This is my work. This is my life. Welcome and thank you for participating in the poll question. Thank you. James of the Misty Tree. My brother asks how the stock thing is going. How's that stock thing going with you? And after a minute or two, I realized I was rambling about options, and his eyes had a kind of a glazed look to them. Yes, sir. Hector, number 55. Good morning, everybody. Beautiful stuff. Thank you, everybody. Who else is here? Welcome. Shankar is in the house. Blair's here. Let's see. Who else is going on here? Thank you all. Who else? Gunny Bar. We in Canada. New safe. I don't know what that means. What else? Let's see. Good morning, all from Margin Called. Good morning, Uncle Bruce from Ricardo. Let's see. NYFJ, no filter, Sofi to 1454 before Feb 1st 25 or after? I think before. Let's see. Who else? Good morning from Andre. Excuse me. Let's go. Yeah. Stephen Butler, I am surprised the boomers generation that went to Woodstock have let fear dictate their lives today, fallen back on the fear and bigotry of their parents as we age, conformity. It is incredible to me when I see photos from Woodstock and video from those days. how young the crowd was, 16 to 30, many in their 20s, university students coming to Woodstock, all the long hair we had back in the day. I was too young to go to Woodstock. Woodstock, I would have been 13, 14, just 4 years too soon. If I'd have been 17, 18, I might have gone to Woodstock with a buddy or two and braved it. But of course, for us, it meant crossing the border, which was no big deal in those days. But still, that was 400 miles away from home, or 350 miles. Was like across the world for us out of southern Ontario, where I lived at the time. But the generation of that era, as angry as they were at the United States government, at their government for the Vietnam War, these kids, there were veterans in that crowd who had been to Vietnam and had known what was going on there, had come back. Kids who weren't going, or who were fearing that they would have to go. This was a generation that was going to take on the world and change the world. Today, the Woodstock generation, if you were 20 years old in 1969, you're now, what are you now, 70, 80 years of age? I can't believe I'm saying this. You're 75, 85, 5 years older than I am. I'm 69, so they're 74, 80, 84. So many of them are wanting to go back to the 50s to make America great again. They hated it in 69, and now they are just like their parents and grandparents. It's shocking to see, but then again, people forget. They just, you get older and you forget. Your priorities change. I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway, there you go. Bobby, some put spread could be bought back today. Go Green Day. We're opening in 28 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Let's see what else is going on here. LLK saying hello. What's the best trade you've seen someone make? There's been so many here. It's unbelievable. Folks can tell. You want to tell the world the best trade you've done on options? Any of you option writers out there, do me a favor. Why don't you mention some of the option trades you've done in the last 6 months or a year that just made you a bunch of money? Would love to hear the option writing you've done to make you a bunch of dough. I'd love to hear about it. Why listen to me? Let's hear it from the folks themselves. What else? Let's go. Pole dancing question says, dude, go Sofi, says Aurora. Lorraine says good morning. And let's see. What else is going? Lorraine, number 78. Good morning. Welcome. We never made consistent money before Uncle Bruce's margin called. What's going on here? Ding says Roaring Kitty is a big fan of Uncle Bruce. Stockman Mark, Uncle Bruce the hippie. I was just too young to be a hippie. I remember him coming into my dad's music store. Of course, I was 14 in 1969. I was in the store from about 68 until 76. I was in my dad's music store helping him out. And of course, these young guys with the long hair, and guys with short hair and everything in between would come in, get guitar strings, get some picks, buy a music book, buy a new guitar. We had them all. I had guys. There were guys who would come in the store that my dad and I would talk about after they would leave the store. And he helped me observe the clientele to understand the world at large. And he would say, well, the guy that just left the store, he just bought a set of guitar strings for $5. He's an 18-year-old guy, a 19-year-old guy with super long hair, and has his ideals and his hopes and wishes and dreams and aspirations, but he's broke. The guy has no money. Then later in the day, we'd sell something to another musician wannabe, and that individual would leave the store, and my dad would say, what do you think about this guy? And I said, well, gee, Dad, his hair is like, really short hair, and he's kempt, like he's really nicely dressed. I mean, he's not, sitting with tie-dye shirts and jeans with holes in them. The guy looks like he's got some dough. And he says, yeah, well, that guy is 20 years old. He plays music on weekends with one of these bands over here that play all the German clubs. They're playing the waltzes and the and the polkas and what we call oompapa music. And that guy every weekend makes $200. I'm going, he makes $200? This is 1971, 1970, $200 on weekends? You can rent a one-bedroom apartment for $140. You can rent a two-bedroom for $200 a month. This guy's making $200 a weekend? Yeah, and he's going to university. He's going to school, and he's playing oompapa music on the side, and he has his own car. Because he's been in here many a time. He's bought an amplifier from here. He's bought his electric guitar or bass. He always buys 2 sets of strings whenever he needs strings. He always has spare strings in his guitar case. Yeah, he's doing just fine. I'm going, oh, that's interesting. You can play Led Zeppelin or CCR or whatever rock and roll music at these bars and make $40 a night, or you can play this oompapa music to the adults, to the 30 and 40 and 50-year-old, 60-year-old people, and pull in $100 a gig and get 2 gigs every weekend. Didn't take me long to figure out the mathematics of the situation. Interesting. That was an interesting time. Stephen, Uncle Bruce really going to lose him when Trump is the president again. You know what? I'm going to find it fascinating if that happens. But I'm going to be able to say, you guys did it to yourselves, because you can't blame us in Canada for this. Unbelievable. We'll see what happens. Anyway, there you go. Let's see. What else is going on here? Walter Young, good morning. Uncle Bruce and Auntie Jen, thumbs up, number 83. Thank you very much for being here. Let's see here. What else is going on? Let's go. Zach, you know, I'm a few minutes behind. That was one epic rant, Uncle Bruce. I lived many of those times, so I know you're right. Sofi calls 8 to 10, $7,000 in no time. So you made some money on calls. This is your best trade. Not much in the way of details, but okay. Try to figure this out. What's all going on here? Christopher saying, I sold $10 Jan 25 SoFi puts 3 months ago. I got $4 for those things. It's been great watching the premiums on them go down, down, and down. There you go. What else is going on here? Dude, GameStop spreads right now. I'm sitting on a 40% gain on the buying power. Most of that closes in a month. I just make piles of dough taking chips off the table. Thank you very much. Let's see what else is going on. Juan says you could buy a spanking new car for $500 back then. No, you couldn't. Not back in '69. A Volkswagen Beetle would have been about $1,400-$1,500. They used to be under $1,000 in the early '60s, but by '69, '70 they were $1,500 and going up $100 a year in price. Toyota's Corollas were $1,200 to $2,000, depending on how many options you put in them, because Toyota figured out the North American game. We'll offer a car with options, like we'll offer a car with a number of features in it, but if you want the upgrade features, you pay much more. But those are the days. Of course, the minimum wage was $1.20 to $1.50 an hour, so you couldn't have $10,000 cars. That made sense too. Dude just wrote put spreads at 20 short and $3 for more or more wide. Easy as pie. The put side shrinks out faster than the call sides do. Good morning, Uncle Bruce from Deep Value. Let's see here. Damo Uncle Bruce, I couldn't have put it better. You've really gone up in my estimation. Good man, you are. Thank you, everybody. What else? The Spurs telling everybody about the classes. Get your hands on the classes. Ebby, bought calls in the 8s expiring Jan 26, 100% return. Alex, dude, I sold GameStop $19 and $20 expiry December 20th yesterday, and I got 43 cents on a $1 spread, credit spread. Unbelievable. That's a 43% gift to you to do $1 spreads. It means you need $100 to write a contract and buy a contract and get 43 back in a credit. You're risking $57 on a credit spread that dies December the 20th. Unbelievable. You can do 10 of those for $1,000. You can do 100 of those for 10 grand. Get $4,300 credit on a spread. That is huge. That is massive. That is so one-sided for the casino that you are well done. Crazy. Gunny Brer, Bruce, we are from the same town. You're my cousin. I'm in Edmonton. We're from the same province. How about that? I'm Calgary. You're in Edmonton. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here. We're opening in 19 minutes. The Dow right now is up 213 in the pre-market. We're up 26 on S&P. We're up 79 on NASDAQ. That's what's going on right now. Oil is up 182. GameStop is 22.41, up 23 cents at the moment. We've got Sofi right now at 11.26, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we're up about 9 cents on Sofi. Let me take a look at the pre-market here and check out some of these quotes. Some of the stocks we follow the most, we're looking at no change at the moment on Rocket Lab. We're up 8.9 on Sofi, 12-cent gain on GameStop. Matterport, I don't know if there's any change going on there. 23andMe, I don't see any changes. Spire down 32 cents, but I'm not sure if there's any volume on this. Nothing on ATIP yet. Smart Rent up a penny. Now, Apple down $3.99, where Tesla is up $2. Microsoft is up $4.70. Alphabet up 11 cents. Amazon is up $13.68 this morning, $200 a share. $200 a share on Amazon. Nvidia is up $2.47. Meta Platforms is up $3.14, down 24 yesterday. Goldman up 99 cents. Cisco up 2 cents. Arc Innovations up 26. Pfizer's up 10 cents. Nothing on HPQ. Unity up a dime. AI up 27. Adobe up 167. Netflix up 18 cents. IBM up 49 cents. 207.21. We're up 182 yesterday. Now we're up 49 more this morning. The Vanik Semiconductors up 244. It's green everywhere here. Home Depot up 92. Enphase up 55. Palantir up 43. Uber up 135. It's green so far, but is it just a dead cat bounce recovery? Are we going to have a 10, 20-minute upsurge and then a sell wave to continue yesterday's drop-off? Or is this truly a snapback rally with an overreaction yesterday? Remember, yesterday was dominated by some big stocks that got hit hard. And so we had a 378 loss on the Dow, a 100-point loss on S&P, but a 512-point loss on the NASDAQ market. That is what really kicked in some losses yesterday. What are we going to do ultimately today? Right now, NASDAQ is only showing a 72-point gain from a 500-point loss. So the NASDAQ is not leading the market higher at all. We've got a 195 gain on the Dow, 23-point gain on S&P. That is almost a half a point, but only about a half a point. S&P was down 1.8%, NASDAQ down 2.7 yesterday, the Dow 0.9 of a percentage point. That was yesterday. On the futures market right now, we're up 185 on crude oil at 71.11. I think this is overdone. I think we're going back to 65 a barrel, but we'll have to see in the next week or so if that goes through. We have an election in the meantime, lots of uncertainty. The world is watching. We'll see what happens. SoFi 11.26, up 9 cents at the moment. One more thing I'll mention about Woodstock, for those of you who are curious about the 60s, the late 60s. Woodstock happened in the summer of 1969. In the summer of 1968, they had the conventions, the Republican convention and the Democratic convention, and the Democrats were tearing each other apart, just like they do today. So many free thinkers. But in Chicago, the problem was that the youth of the United States, the younger crowd, 16 to 30, were virtually all opposed to the Vietnam War. A huge, massive majority of those were opposed to the Vietnam War. And they wanted the Democratic presidential candidates all summer long to oppose the war and end it. Stop sending American kids by 100,000 at a time, 500,000 in Vietnam. They wanted to stop this because the body bags were coming back to the U.S. and the kids were saying, what are we fighting for? What are we winning? There's no objective to win the war. The South Vietnamese government is corrupt, taking bribes off the table, taking all this aid from America and paying themselves off by the millions. Equipment comes off of ships like jeeps and tanks and guns and bullets, all ends up in the black market. Very little of it ends up in the hands of the troops. So much is lost to the criminal gangs over there and sold on the black market. What are we fighting to preserve these guys for? Some democracy this is. And in 68, the mayor of Chicago declared war on anyone with long hair protesting the Vietnam War. And so no permits were granted for any parades, any assembly, nothing. And every Chicago cop was denied holiday time during the time. And the mayor of Chicago called in the National Guard even before the beginning of that convention. It was a bloodbath. And on national television, Americans saw for themselves what the older American establishment was doing, cops and politicians were doing to the kids who were going to be tomorrow's leaders. And the people in charge in Chicago blamed the students and the protesters for all the violence. They did it, where the cops were the attackers. And when Woodstock happened in '69, when that was being put together, the fear was from the media, was building it up from the right-wing side, that these out-of-control hippies, long-haired freaks are going to create havoc in Woodstock and hide your children, hide your women, hide your sheep. It's just going to be terrible. And Woodstock comes about, and the national media shows up to cover the riots, and there are none. There are no riots in Woodstock. It's a love fest. And the media is going, we were told this was going to be out of control. This is going to be insanity. And it wasn't. There were 500,000 people who came through that 5-day time frame, and there were no riots whatsoever. Totally the opposite. And this is where the youth of America and the youth of the world went, you see, we're not the problem. The other side is the problem. The right-wingers are the problem. They're the ones with the violence. They're the ones inciting violence. They're the ones sending in the cops. We can get along with ourselves. We want to end this war. We want this to be over. And of course, as it turns out, Richard Nixon won the election because the Democrats tore themselves apart, completely tore themselves apart. And he escalated the war for 4 more years until 72, 73, and then tried to negotiate a peace deal with the North Vietnamese, which the North Vietnamese completely ignored, and they took South Vietnam over. As soon as Jerry Ford took over the White House, South Vietnam was lost because the North just sacked over that corrupt country like there was nothing. The troops had already been withdrawn from the American side, and it was all over. And the youth of America went, see, the South, they don't want to fight. The South Vietnamese don't want to fight off the North. The North Vietnamese are infiltrating the South already. They got spies everywhere. They got infiltrators everywhere, sabotage everywhere. This thing's done for. We don't even know who the enemy is. Can't tell the difference between one side and the other. Unbelievable. That was history. That was, how many years ago? 30, 31 and 24. 55 years ago. If you are 35 years old or younger, no, I'm sorry. If you are 50 years, 65 years or younger, 60 years or younger, you weren't an adult at that time. You have no idea firsthand what was going on. You're just looking at history and you're reading books, if you read at all. And with your 8-second attention span, you probably have no chance of gathering what really happened back in the day. And it's still happening to this day. The misinformation of the right versus the left continues unabated and now is on this and every device we have. And one side accuses the other side of lying and telling non-truths, and our side is right, the other side is wrong. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. It's the same, and it continues on to this day. There you are. Welcome, everyone, to the program. So what can I tell you? I was around, but I was not in the middle of it. Not at all. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all for joining me. We open in 10 minutes. Let's see what's going on. Giddy up. Zach says, my favorite trades are when you take in a bunch of premium Then near the end of the trade, it goes against you. So you roll out for more money. Mistakes turn into gold with Uncle Bruce's knowledge. These are great. 69, you could buy a ticket to Tokyo for a loonie and a toonie. That's what I heard. You just grab your honey bag, honey hug and go. Your bunny hug and go. I don't know what's going on here. Thank you. These SoFi price target increases are pathetic. These so-called analysts obviously work for the shorts. Amy J says, good morning, everybody. Number 93, thumbs up. Thank you for these thumbs ups, everybody. And what's going on here? I heard the Hells Angels did a lousy job. They did not, were not security at Woodstock. Monterey. They were the security at Monterey Pop Festival in California, where the Rolling Stones played. That's where there was a stabbing in the crowd. You get your facts straight. You weren't around, probably. It's okay. It's okay. What else? Read my lips, says George Herbert Walker. No new taxes. Yeah, that didn't last, but he did the right thing. What else is going on here? Welcome all. All of this is why the SoFi price target increases are so weak, says Mark. Stock man, Mark, and in 67, we had a Summer of Love, San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury. 1967 was the year that the United States set an all-time record for people traveling across their own country. More Americans traveled across America in 1967 than ever before in the history of the country, including the Civil War, when there were millions of people moving during the Civil War. 67 was a humongous migration of young people from the eastern U.S. to the west, to San Francisco, Los Angeles, because of the Summer of Love. It was absolutely unbelievable. 68 was a disaster because of the Democratic Convention. 69, Woodstock, Woodstock, Festival of Love. 70, 71, other concerts that turned violent, including Monterey Pop Festival. What can I say? The evolution of America, unbelievable. Anyway, thank you. Let's see. What else? Number 98, good morning. Thank you all. And it's Uncle Bruce's channel. He makes the rules. It's true. I do. It's my opinion. It's just my opinion. Anyway, doing what I can, saying what I'm saying, and there it is. Continue on, everybody. Let's keep going. Uncle Bruce, as our history teacher, you are metering out endless dope slaps. Happy Friday, time to fill our pockets. Right on, 7 minutes to go. And what can I say? Anyway, there you have it. Those are amazing days, the 60s and 70s. I'm becoming a quasi-adult during the 70s. 1970, I'm 15, and 1980, I'm 25. So those 10 years, I see stuff, trying to comprehend what's going on, what's real, what's not. What was neat for me was working in my dad's music store and seeing all ages come in the front door of that store. Being a music center, we had lessons being taught. You could learn to play guitar, bass, trumpet, trombone, clarinet, accordion, whatever. We had teachers downstairs in our studios. So we had kids coming in, children. We had the young teenagers. We had full-blown 16 to 20-year-old men and women coming in who wanted to become musicians, take it further. We had 30-year-olds who wanted to learn to play guitar, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-old students. We had them all. We had customers of all ages, of all demographics, come into the store for accessories, to buy a gift for a child, or a husband buying a wife something, wife buying something for the husband. We had it all. And so you get to talk to people about everything. And in those days, it wasn't an 8-second attention span world. People would come into a music store, and they come into our store, and they'd go, oh my God, this place is full of stuff. It's unbelievable how many instruments you have here. And then we had the staff behind the counter were willing to help you and talk to you. And we had draft dodgers in the store for years. Draft dodgers from the six. My dad opened the store at 65, and from 65 till 75, many of the customers, not all, but a number of them, were guys from America who had come to Canada to get away from the draft. They couldn't escape it. And so they were there picking up a guitar to just tinker with or try to make a few bucks, whatever. We had it all. We had it all. And my father was more than happy to engage in discussions of the day. And I was the fly in the wall, told to just sit there, don't say anything, just listen. Just shut up and listen. Shut up. You're 13, 14, 15, 16. Do not speak, only absorb. And I found it fascinating. I was one of those lucky kids at that time in my life with all my buddies who didn't have this exposure. They didn't have this world to look into. I did. And so they were influenced by the other high schoolers or by the media that they were following or whatever, where I had that and this real world life of my father's music store, of all places. It was amazing. It was amazing to me that my father made a living off of musical instruments where the society at large was deeply divided about the customers we had. Some of the customers we had didn't like the kids with the long hair. They called them every name in the book. There were 40-year-olds who hated the Beatles, hated the Rolling Stones, hated rock and roll, hated anyone with hair past the top of their ears. It was vitriol. It was terrible. But this store was like Switzerland. It was neutral territory that everyone could go in, feel safe, not feel threatened, and respected the territory. And the store was never abused. It was one of those places where you could come in. Not that we were openly soliciting political views. That's not what we were there for. But both sides could come in and we would take care of musicians' needs, whatever your needs were for a guitar, a repairing of an instrument, drumsticks, you named it. We covered it all. It was a fascinating place to be at the age I was. It was truly fascinating. Anyway, there you go. Thank you all for being here. Let's make some money today. Market opens in 2 minutes. Let's get you going. Let's hope you guys make bucks today. Thank you so much for being here. Sofi, cash kid put contracts, baby, let's go. CKT, I'm 107 on the thumbs up meter, Bruce. Wow, Uncle Bruce, that was so cool. I love music, and you learn so much from all the musicians. Really make your life more lively. Sofi volume before the opening, over 800,000. Yep, that's true. And good morning from Robert Mailhot to all of you. Thank you, Robert, for being here. My pockets are full of candy since last night, says Brian. The man is thinking it might be a quiet day on Sofi. We'll see what's going on here. Larry Titus, the bells have been rung, baby. We're open for trading. Richard Garland, neat. Dude, much love and respect for all of you. Cheers. Giddy up, Brian. We had 300 kids last night. I'm sure of it, although we found there were a lot of houses not giving out candy. That was interesting. Zach, thank you, Larry, for doing this. Thank you. Welcome all. Larry Titus, I'm number 110 on the thumbs up meter. Good morning, everyone. GameStop pre-market volume, 116,000. And giddy up all. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the hopes, wishes, and dreams of this market for all of you. I hope you all make a ton of money. And I hope we all survive the election in a couple of days. Oh, my goodness. It will be wacky and wild. What a show. Must-watch TV coming up. There's no doubt about that. Oh, boy. Welcome all to the program. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being subscribers. Thank you for becoming members, staying members, despite all the rants and everything else. Love that you're all here with us, and we appreciate you so much for being part of this Bagel Familia. Thank you all, and let's just hope you guys have a great session and make a ton of money today and Monday and Tuesday and all next week, because you all deserve it. If you're an option writer, you deserve every nickel you are taking out of this market. Every nickel coming to you is earned, and you deserve it. The gamblers out there are just going nuts with their crazy bets. You've got to be the casino, and you've got to take the money. The poll question, we have received 177 votes for the poll question today. Thank you for being part of that. 117 thumbs ups are in the house. Thank you for that. 54% of you are saying, you know what, my friends have not noticed or commented to me about new terminology I use, but 46% of you have said, you know what, you're right, Bruce. I talk to my friends and family, and I kind of start dropping in like in the money, out of the money, at the money, strike price, expiry days, the 90-10 rule, stink bids, stink offers. I like this game. I'm using terms. They're looking at me going, where are you getting this lingo from? You never talked like this before. They're wondering. It is interesting. We're open now and trading a minute into the market. It looks like, I think Rocket Lab might be up a little bit. We'll see. Is it truly running here? It's up 31 cents to $11. Is that truly what's going on? I think it is. I think Rocket Lab is up. Earnings come out November 12th, so we're still 11 days away. Sofi down 16 at 11.01 apparently. GameStop up 28 to 22.46. Matterport up a penny. 23andMe is up about 5 cents. Spire up 27. ATIP down 31. SmartRent up 1.5. Apple down 420. Tesla's up 259. Microsoft up 236. Alphabet down 117. Amazon up 13.53 today. NVIDIA up 280, Meta down 340, Goldman up 220, Cisco up 43, Arc Innovations up 29 cents, Pfizer up 13, HPQ up 25, Unity up 22, AI up 46, Adobe up 192, Spiders are up 341, the Qs are up 250, Netflix down 304, IBM up $1.25 on IBM, up 150 now on IBM, 208.22, IBM going up. 244 on Vanek up 250, Home Depot up 279, Enphase up 136, Palantir up 52, Uber up 56 cents. So far on the day, on the session. We're just here a couple of minutes, 3 minutes in, watching to see where this market wants to really, really go. Welcome all to the show, the program, and I hope you all get a lot richer today. Thank you so much for being here. Rocket Lab up 20 at 1090. SoFi 1094 off about 24. We did this yesterday. Did you notice yesterday how SoFi reacted? Started with a dip, then bottomed out after 10, 20, 30 minutes, and then the march up. We've had this pattern now for like 3 days in a row. Is it going to happen again? 1.4 million, 1.5 million, now 3 million traded on SoFi. We'll find out if this first wave dissipates and we go even higher. Could we hit a new year high on SoFi today? Could we break 11.50? Break it into 11.75 to $12 today on option expiry day? Oh, that would create a kerfuffle. Oh my God. Remember, it's option expiry day. There will be a lot of fluctuating going on here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all. Let's see what's going on. Charlie is thinking they're expecting shorters to hit SoFi today. Let's go, says Charlie. Brian, Air Canada up 10%, 52-week high. And Charlie C, the shorters can't be happy with what SoFi's been doing lately. It's just been crushing them. You're right. And it could be worse. It might get even worse for the shorters of SoFi. We'll find out. GameStop 22.34. Just up 16 cents. The Dow appears to be up on the session at the moment, 280 points so far. S&P's up 32, NASDAQ up 103. So far, that's what we see at the moment. Treasury yields are dropping after shockingly low job gains for October. The U.S. one-year Treasury has dropped to 4.2, the two-year 4.1%, the 10-year is down to 4.26%. We are looking at the economy. The job creation for October came in at just 12,000 jobs created, as a Boeing strike and a pair of major hurricanes took a toll on employment gains well below the forecast of 110,000. Now, this kind of unemployment drop, even though the rate is still 4.1%, might indicate an increased speed of lower interest rates, where we could see the rates get dropped faster than before. We might see a 0.5% drop in the next rate by the Federal Reserve. We might not. Might be a quarter point and another quarter point and another quarter point every month. I don't know, but it's possible. If this job creation thing for real is losing steam, then rates will drop. And for Sofi, stock will go up dramatically, because for Sofi, lower rates means much higher profit margins for that company and for all bankers. The market could react very positively to a drop in the unemployment numbers. Again, I said earlier, you're a Magnificent Seven company. You've saturated your market with your product. You dominate your sector out there. You have only two places left where you can make more money. Either lower taxes from your government or lower interest rates, spurring more money in the economy, increasing the opportunity for your company to make more profit. And stocks of the Magnificent Seven could go up along with all other stocks, because if interest rates are falling off, treasury yields are falling off, money comes out of treasuries, out of bonds, into the stock market. And there you have it. They go into the winners, Sofi being one of those. Very interesting. Nvidia up 222. Sofi is 1091 right now. We got GameStop up 8 cents. We have AI up 50 cents. We got Rocket Lab up 29. And we got the Dow up 337 points. Very, very interesting. Charlie C2 is saying, neat, 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 neat. Let's go, baby. Thank you, and welcome Margin Called to the channel. Margin Called has joined us as a Gold Bagel member. Welcome to the familia, my friend. Folks will start welcoming you in. Nice to have you here. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new, welcome to the program. And welcome to the party, pal. 184 people have given me an answer for my poll question so far today. The poll question is basically that you've kind of noticed how your family senses you talk differently now. Now that you're an option writer, you seem to be talking in a different way than before. You're using terms you've never used before just because you're so used to it. You're just kind of going, well, this is part of my lexicon now. In the money, out of the money, state bids, cash secured puts, poor man covered calls, put credit spreads. You're using words, they don't know what you're talking about. They're asking you, what's this all about? 47% of you are saying, this is true. This is really true. That's like 100, what's that, almost 100 of you, 90 odd of you are saying, yeah, my family's mentioning that to me. I've had this mentioned from my workers at work, my buddies on the golf course, my friends, relatives at, when I get together with family. My mom and dad are mentioning this. And what is this? What do these words mean? Where are you getting this from? And you desperately try to tell people all about this channel, and they get glazed eyes in 30 seconds. They lose it. It is what it is. What can I say? There you go. Have any of you also noticed something else? I love talking to my viewers when they email me and they let me know how they're doing with their trading and how they're doing with their positioning and how it's going for them. My viewers will say something like, a person that I know was asking me about, hey, how are you doing on those on that option stuff that you were talking about 6 months ago or a year ago, or a relative will come up to you and say, yeah, I heard from cousin so and so, brother-in-law such and such, that you're making money in the market, and that you're doing really well. You were telling somebody that you were losing money for years, and all of a sudden you've just turned it around and you've learned how to do this option stuff. Can we get together for a cup of coffee and you tell me all about it? I love these stories. Some of you tell me this kind of stuff. You tell me where someone was thinking, well, I'll see you on Sunday for the ball game. We'll get together for the ball game. We'll watch the NFL game. And at halftime, during halftime, why don't you tell me all about how you write options so I can do it too? You get the folks who want you to give them the 5-minute version of how 17 classes that you've taken, or 8 classes, or 10 classes, or 6 classes, how you've been writing options for a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years. They want you to tell them in 5 minutes, show me how to do it so I can make money too. Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun when you see that kind of stuff? Amazing, isn't it? We have 124 thumbs ups the last time I checked, and 187 poll answers that have come in so far. Thank you all for this. 250 of you are here. 130 of you have not hit the thumbs up button. So you are officially being classified by Strickland as slackers. Strickland is now up and down the halls looking for slackers that have not hit the thumbs up button. Don't get caught with that. You're going to get a pink slip. You don't want one of those. Your mom and dad will be upset with you. You might not be allowed to go out this weekend. You'll be grounded. Come on now, hit that thumbs up button and help this channel get some more momentum out there. If you're watching this show on the rerun, we really appreciate thumbs ups anytime you can give them. If you are giving me a thumbs up at 2 in the morning because you can't sleep, please give me a thumbs up at 2 in the morning. This channel gets momentum anytime and every time these thumbs ups come in, especially when the percentage of thumbs ups versus active viewers really reaches certain metrics. The YouTube computers go ballistic. They go nutso cuckoo in a good way to promote this channel to others and let them know there's a channel with a lot of engagement here. Those of you into the markets, you may want to be here. There you go. Thank you, everybody. Bobby Atkinson is saying, I sure wish the Matterport buyout would get done here. Margin called. Glad to join the club. Thank you for being here. Neat. Don't forget the knee emojis. Right on. J-Boy, welcome. Margin call to the show, to the fam. Thank you for joining me. Margin call. Send me an email if you like. Send me a private email right here at my email address. Let me know in the private email. I joined your channel today. I'm margin called. I will send you a link information so you can become part of the Discord channel. If you're a Gold Bagel member, you get easy access right into our Discord chat group, and you can hang out with the gang, the option writing gang, 24/7. So yeah, any of you out there who are Gold Bagel members, send me a message that you're a Gold Bagel member, and we will take care of it. Auntie Jen, what's going on?
I get it.
We bought some milk the other day, and the Auntie Jen can't get the lid to open up. And I can see why. It's putting up some squawk. Oh, here it goes. It's one of those.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's this
And then
thing.
there's
Sometimes this won't go. Oh, well, this time it worked out.
Yeah, because see what they do now? They have like that haft,
Yeah.
and you can lift it up and get
Exactly.
leverage. Yes.
We've got the little tab there. Difficult, tough times when you turn 69, 70. You can't open bottles anymore.
No, I've never been able to.
She's never been able to open a bottle. She says, how you doing, Auntie Jen?
Good. Let me put that.
Giddy up. Welcome to the
Down.
party, pal. Nice to have you
So
here.
the Jets came back to win last night.
No way. The Jets won their
I
ball
know.
game. Oh, my God.
I had called it a night.
Oh, my goodness. We watched some of that yesterday. What a disaster that was. What a
That poor
disaster.
kid.
Oh, my God. Stephen Butler is saying, need deep value. Welcome, margin called. New Gold Bagel member, margin called. Welcome to the channel.
Say that again.
No, deep value. Rock on, baby. Bobby, at least 3 friends will want to do it themselves. My friend asked me if I could do it for him. Here's 10 grand. Make me money too.
Yeah.
The poll question today, Auntie Jen, has been people are reacting to it as they usually do. The poll question says, my family and friends say that I'm using new words like in the money, out of the money, stink bits, cash secured puts, 90-10 rule. They've noticed these new terms. It started off like 40-60, yes to no. Now it's 48% say yes, 52% not yet. But out of 192, 48% are going, yeah, there are people coming to me.
Noticing.
And of course, as what's this comment right here is a classic. Bobby Atkinson, I'm getting this from many of you. People are coming to you going, can you help me manage my money?
Yeah,
Can you help me write options? I don't have
or-
time for the
yeah.
classes. I'm
I'll
too
just
busy.
give you money and you can do it.
Listen, can you make me 10% a month on my money? Because I'm too busy working at my schlep job, and I'm too damn lazy to get off my fat
Yeah.
lard ass to watch his classes. Plus, I don't want to pay the money. I don't want to pay the money to buy his classes. I just want the money. I just
Yeah.
want to make money
Or
from him,
people are
but I don't want to give him
intimidated.
anything for it.
They're intimidated by it and they think that they can't do it.
They don't think they have the chutzpah to do it.
If your friend can do it.
And they want you to do all the work and
Yeah.
to be praised. Oh, well, thanks for helping me make 10% a month. But if, God forbid, you lose $1 for these people, you'll never hear the end of it.
Well, wait till they hear the commission that Bobby charges.
Yeah, wait till Bobby charges 50% profits. That's right. Richard Carlin, good morning. Auntie Jen, Bobby.
Good morning, Reggie.
I could be his broker, he said. I said, no, thank
No,
you.
thank you.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Correct answer.
Yeah.
Suffer in your mediocrity and watch me enjoy my higher standard of living because you're too lazy to get off your big, fat, lard ass to do it yourself. That is the expression, and I'm sticking to it because they are many
Are you
people
huffing or
are
ranting
too.
again this morning?
I'm ranting this morning.
You have one sleeve down and one sleeve up.
I'm ranting. Today we talked about
There you go.
the crash of 29.
Okay.
How it wasn't a one-day thing. It
No.
led up
Yeah.
to that. Then I talked about the 60s and talked about 1967, 68, the summer of riots in Chicago,
Yeah.
then 69 Woodstock. And it all started because someone commented to me about the Woodstock generation. They're now voting to go way to the right about making America great again. When in the 60s they hated America. They hated their parents. They hated their grandparents. They wanted to change the world.
Yes.
They wanted that Vietnam War to end. They
Yes.
wanted the draft to end. They wanted America to get out of these conflicts. They wanted America to
their
concentrate on
politicians-
America and just build it up.
They wanted politicians to stop lying.
To lying to them. And here we are today witnessing many elderly Americans voting for the very people they didn't want anything to do with in 69, 70. So I mentioned that. And then I mentioned 1987 after the 1929 crash. I mentioned the biggest crash ever to happen in the United States markets. And who was president? Ronnie Reagan was president at the time. And so mentioned how we were having fun in those days with mocking him and the videos that were being made, puppets were being done mocking him.
What were they called? What was that show called?
That's right. The British show. Spinning Image.
That was so well done.
Oh, unbelievable. And yet today, Ronnie Reagan ended his presidency in 88. That was 36 years ago. Unless you're 56 and older, you weren't an adult during his presidency. You were a child. You had no idea what was going on. And yet today, Reagan is revered as the god of all time, the greatest Republican ever. Oh, what a disaster. What a disaster this guy is. They rewrite history in their own image. It's incredible. Anyway, that's what we talked about today. And so people are accusing me, you're all talking politics, and you should be talking business. And anyway.
I know.
But then others are saying, I love your rants. Keep going. I love this channel because of this. I love it when you stick your neck out there and tell us what you think because you're a Canadian.
You're just prepping them for
Prepping.
Thanksgiving and drunk uncle.
There's that. And or I'm prepping them for Tuesday.
Well, for Tuesday.
What's coming up on Tuesday? Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Then they have to go to Thanksgiving after the election.
Well, that's the end of the month.
It's fresh in their mind.
Do you know that this Thanksgiving this year is the 28th, 29th of November?
Really?
At the end of the month. Yeah.
Oh, because today is the 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah, it messes things up when the 1st is on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on Monday, I'm going to announce lesson number 18 coming up, and we're targeting right now I wrote it down somewhere. The 13th of November, something like that. The 12th. No, the 13th. Sorry, 16th. 16th. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But I think it's the 16th of November, Saturday. Yeah.
2 plus 14 is 16.
Trying to help people. Can't do it.
So are you ready for a bagel? I feel like I'm
Oh,
early because it was a
um,
coffee emergency that brought me in.
yeah. Mm. Well, I was kind of thinking about giving Auntie Heather's
Oh, you want to try the jelly?
the jelly.
Okay.
See if that has any merit to it, but light,
Light.
not thick, goo covered, light and very crispy,
Very crispy.
toasted.
Have you looked
sesame
outside this morning?
hazy,
It's
foggy.
It's very Halloweeny.
It's eerie.
I think the city's having a Halloween hangover.
Our forecast today in Calgary right now it's 25 degrees, so that's Celsius -3. High today at 41. Saturday 43, Sunday 45, sunny. But that's it. And then next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 53, 56, and 53. Yeah. The heat wave comes next week.
No, our city is large and has valleys and the river and hills. So we're anywhere from like +1 to -8 right now.
Yes, that's true.
Depending on where you live.
That is exactly correct. Okay.
I'll go finish doing my coffee and I'll make you a bagel.
Oh, thank you so much, Auntie Jen. No rush. I received the message. I occasionally receive messages from some of you telling me, hey, Bruce, I bought lesson number 1 or 2 or 6 or 9, and I didn't get the link after I did the PayPal thing on your website. Send me a private email. Just let me know. After the show is over, I always review my emails, and I'll get you the links personally. I'll take care of you. Stand by. You'll have your link shortly, and then you're on your way, okay? So if you need any help with the lessons or anything like that, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. All right. Thank you all so very much. Richard Carlin, Auntie Jen, hello. Moneyness is a real word. Moneyness, says Bobby. And the dude says, you know what? I have a friend, Bobby, just like that. He wanted me to manage his money for him. Can you make me the money? I don't have the time. I'm just too damn busy. In other words, can you make me rich for free? Can you make me rich too? Isn't that amazing? Yeah, there you go. That's crazy. Splair says, I've heard this too. They don't want to take the classes. Dude, the majority of people that will never learn, I tell people till I'm blue in the face. Oh, well, I do what I can. Good morning, Auntie Jen from Splair. One, the supply side economics, Mr. Reagan, it is just unbelievable. Trickle down economics, voodoo economics. Charlie is laughing. During Reagan's presidency, his chief budget officer, his top finance guy, quit in disgust. Quit. Said this isn't going to work. You're off your rocker. For years he was vilified. He was just demonized by the Republicans, but he was proven absolutely correct. And in '87, the entire system blew up in one day. Within 3 hours, the Dow had lost 22% of its value in hours, just hours, and it took billions off the sheets. It was utter destruction. People went bankrupt in 3 hours. It was unbelievable. Thank you, Ronnie Reagan, for nothing. This guy quit. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's go. Thank you, everyone. Dude, Uncle Bruce, I just love it when you make people upset and get everyone mad. I'm the little devil myself. No, I'm not going to do that, dude. Juan, I do remember that Monday crash, but people keep on believing it's a big lie. Like, really, the stats are there. Unbelievable. What can I say? Larry, good morning. Auntie Jen, 80 Fahrenheit here in New York City yesterday and today. It's unbelievable how hot it is there. Bobby, time to fly south for a vacation. Splair, Stephen Butler, we buy Halloween candy every year, but because we are out in the woods, we never have trick or treat folks come by. So I have a bag of candy every year, all to myself the day after every year. I love this. There you go. Bobby wants to know, where did the UK folks go for a hot vacation? They fly to Spain. They'll go to the island just south of Spain in the Mediterranean, Mallorca. They'll head over to the Canary Island or the Azores off the coast of northern Africa, which is Portugal territory, or they go to Portugal, southern Portugal. They'll head to southern Italy. They'll go to Malta, and they fly to Tunisia on the southern coast of the Mediterranean Sea. They'll go to Morocco, Algeria, and there are all kinds of all-inclusive resorts all along those areas there. And they head there for vacation package deals. including their own condos, timeshares, hotels, resorts, you name it. And that's where UK folks go. The Irish are heading there. Norwegians, Swedes, Finns, Germans, French, Belgians, Netherlanders, you name it, they all head south, just like in North America. We head south, many of us so-called snowbirds. Same thing in Europe, they head down there. Some folks head to Turkey. They head to southern Turkey, others to southern Greece. Some go to Jordan. Some will go to Oman, Dubai, to southern climes. Absolutely. Anyway, there you go. Bobby, my wife saw the cost of candy this year and said, nope. I worked delivery pizza last night. Average Thursday, $80 to $100 for 4 hours. Last night, $175 for 5 hours. Was asked to come in early. I love the holidays, making some extra coin. Way to go there, Bobby. Nice going. Splayer, my first vacation, unfortunately, will be in March or April, 2 weeks, but maybe I can get a few days earlier for some days in Ibiza. At least it seems I have 9 vacation days from this year available. Alex, Bobby, yes, what Bruce said, Greece is my favorite. Turkey is popular as the currency is in such a cheap state. And there you go. Folks who will go to Tunisia for the cheaper fare, cheaper costs, cheap labor. They'll go to Morocco, Algeria, cheaper to go there, cheaper in Portugal than the rest of Europe. Certain cities in Spain are very affordable. They're very economically conscious. Bruce, Alex, you know a lot about the UK tourism industry. Traveling with Bruce, I got my other channel. I got to pay attention to what's going on. There you have it. Thank you all for joining me today. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're up 313 on the Dow right now. So we got a recovery of most of the drop from yesterday. I don't know if it'll hold or not. We'll see. We're still underwater on Super Micro, 27.36 down 175, but the stock did get to 22 yesterday at some time. So now it's 27.36. I don't know. Rocket Lab is up 47 cents, 11.17 on Rocket Lab. AI is up 73 cents, looking good. A GameStop up 48 cents. And look at SoFi, back to 11.02. We got down to 10.91, and now here we are at 11.02 on SoFi. No, we got down to 10.81 on SoFi. We're back to 11.02. Interesting recovery, just like yesterday. 8.9 million so far traded on SoFi as it's coming up, only 19 cents, 17 cents underwater. On NVIDIA, up 3.39. Matterport down 2 cents. SmartRent up 4. ME up 2. Apple down $2. Tesla up 117. Google up 65 cents. Microsoft is up 4.29. Intel up $1.30. We got Meta down 117. Amazon up $13 right here, right now. Uber up 106, Adobe up 308, AMD down 172, Unity up a nickel. Enphase is now up 267 this morning. Spire up 26 cents to 1016 again. Very interesting on this market. Welcome all to the program. Welcome all to the show. IBM 118 higher to 207.90. IBM trying to go higher today. It's already hit 208.81 today. IBM looks like it is stabilized from the drop-off a week or so ago. Welcome to the program. How you doing? Friday, baby, November 1, new month, end of the week, option expiry day. Thank you so much. Splayer sounds lovely, Bobby, and I agree with candy prices. Said I was giving away candy from Poland, which I would throw away anyways in a few weeks due to my teeth receiving them a few months ago. Polish candy is really hardcore, filled with sugar. Oh, no, that's not good for you. Giving it to kids. Oh, my goodness. There was a news story here in Calgary the last couple of days. There's a couple of homes here in the city in certain neighborhoods that are famous for giving away full-size chocolate bars for trick or treat. They give away full-size O. Henry's, Mars bars, Turkish Delights, Hershey bars, not the little Halloween candy mini bars, full-size bars they give away. There was one house in this city that allows the kid to choose which candy bar you want, and you can have a pop with it, a can of soda. Lineups at 2:30 in the afternoon, waiting for the sun to set for them to start handing it out. It's unbelievable. And then I saw another news story here in town, or Jen got an email from a friend that one of the houses in their neighborhood, they were giving away candy to the kids and little tiny airplane size booze bottles of rum and vodka and other drinks to the parents that were escorting the children. Apparently, it went over very well. The parents were very happy that their kids came to this house because even mom and dad got something as a little treat for Halloween. Some places, they take care of you. Very interesting. Very, very funny. Unbelievable. Thank you all for coming by and joining us today. If you want to learn how to write options and make money in this market, whether the market goes up or down, go over here. Go to this website. It's my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca, and check out the classes. You'll find 17 classes how to write options, all kinds of strategies on how to write options. Learn this for yourself. Don't try to get someone to do it for you. Do it yourself. Change your economic life completely. Learn how to write stock options. The returns can be fantastic, but you got to want it, and you better want to learn how to do it, because otherwise you're fooling yourself. We're up 46 cents on GameStop right now. We're at 22.64. Recovery in place. Good to see that. We'll see how much more there's behind it. Rocket Lab holding 11.15, up 45 cents. Thank you, Rocket Lab. Nice. AI up 70 cents. Nice. And Auntie Jen has arrived with a toasted bagel and a little bit of grape jelly on there. A couple of nappy poos. Thank you so much.
Taste, see what you think.
Well, let's see what this is all about.
It's sharper than
So we got the toasted sesame seed bagel right there. So those sesame seeds are now crispy.
They were popping
and kind of roasting.
Dancing.
And then we got grape jelly on the front here. Let's see what this is all about.
Okay, I heard the crunch. I heard a little crispy still. You got to go light on the butter if you want them crispy.
Mm.
And those sesame seeds stick to everything.
But good.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as sweet as Welch's. It's got a little more zing to it.
Nicely lightly coated.
There you go.
I like it. I don't like it overdone. I like lots of cheese, but, not jelly. But this is pretty. Let's try another little.
I'm the same with my peanut butter, but not cream cheese. With cream cheese, I want waves of cream cheese on my bagel. Waves.
More than a schmear.
More than a schmear.
More than a schmear.
Yeah. Where this is just a light covering.
A shtickle. A little bit.
Is that what it is? A shtickle?
I don't know. I'm just quoting Seinfeld here. I'm quoting the dentist on Seinfeld.
I think it's actually foggier now than it was even just.
It's dark out. Apparently, this weekend we move our clocks.
Yes, we
Did
do.
you know that? Is that happening in your town? Are you moving your clocks back this Saturday night?
Saturday night. Are you one of those smart people who don't move your clocks? I wish we could just do that. Just go to standard time.
Yeah.
Stay on standard time.
I'm sick and tired of this changing the clocks all the time.
And the reason for it being does not apply anymore. Okay, I'm leaving you.
Really?
I'm going to go drink that coffee.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Auntie Jen, so much for this.
You were going to call me Uncle Jim.
No. People are saying hi to you and passing on their
hi, everybody, buddy.
kind regards to you.
Everybody survived their Halloween and their monsters at the door.
They're talking about candy right now. Stephen Butler got a bag all to myself. He didn't come here.
This is one of the great days to work in an office where you have people with children.
In come the leftover candies.
In come the leftover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you were our daughter, yesterday was the day I threw away left candy from the year before. Because she'd torque it down when she first got it, but then it was a stream. She'd always have stuff left over. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even with nephews.
People
Okay.
are commenting about how many homes in their neighborhood were dark last night.
Oh, really?
Not handing out candy.
Ah.
Economic
Yes.
issues.
Yeah.
One of my viewers said that talking to their wife who had been grocery shopping a few days earlier.
Yeah.
The price of candy.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, not buying it this year.
Yeah.
Too expensive. You can't afford this kind of money.
Well, and depending on where you are, it's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It's a lot of kids.
Yeah. So.
And see, now if you live here, not to maintain a stereotype, but they tell us to make sure you bring your pumpkins in last night. Don't leave them out because it attracts the wildlife. But you can take your pumpkins to different recycling places where they take them out to farms.
Right.
And give them to animals.
Right.
Because they like pumpkin too.
If you live on the outskirts of Calgary, towards the foothills, gophers, raccoons,
moose,
deer, bears.
Yeah,
You have no idea the wildlife that's going to come by.
They'll all come down.
Coyotes,
skunks, raccoons,
foxes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're just asking for visits.
You may as well just throw the cat outside.
Not a good idea. Yeah, don't leave your dog tied up outside with the pumpkin sitting over there because the one animal might go, I think the dog is a little tastier to me than the pumpkin. I'm not a vegetarian. I'm a carnivore.
I think I saw a little hors d'oeuvre running around earlier.
Right.
Nice to have
Just
the
saying.
fresh hors d'oeuvres.
That's right. Well, thank you, Auntie Jen, for seeing us.
You're welcome.
Spending some time with us. Thank you for this bagels. Delicious.
Bagel. Excellent. It is. Yes.
And I'll see you in a little while after the show's done.
Bye, everybody. Don't get in a candy coma.
Don't get in a candy coma. Or a bagel coma. Oh, yeah. Margin call, Spain, Valencia got hit by weather. 205 people are passed away. More missing, lots of housing, infrared destroyed. It's just unbelievable. Infrastructure destroyed. Cars everywhere. Terrible. Just terrible. Unbelievable. Stephen Butler, time change? I'm retired. What's a clock? Do they still have clocks? Margin calls. Hi there, Andy Jen. Spur, I will miss it. I'm being behind you, U.S. Americans, 1 hour, 1 week. The time change is coming. Juan, I was watching the news and I saw the weather news from Spain and Valencia. They got hit so bad. It was unbelievable to see the amount of water running through the city. Crazy stuff. And it is just nuts. Yeah, I'm amazed by it all. Thank you all for joining me today. Oh, this bagel is delicious. Sesame seed bagel. Costco, they know how to make them. They're just great. Loving it. Welcome all. Welcome to the program, everybody. The Dow is up almost 400 points. It's a good day. 292 gain on the Dow, 50-point gain on S&P, and a 193 gain on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is still about 300 behind yesterday's loss, but it's coming bit by bit. Oil up 178 right now. Unbelievable. SoFi 1108 now, only down a dime on SoFi, down 9 cents on SoFi shares. We're back to 1108, 1109. The volume, 10.5 million now have traded in 39 minutes. Welcome back, SoFi. GameStop holding a 54-cent gain, 22.72. Rocket Lab up 49. AI up 70. Giddy up. Love it. Let's go, baby. NVIDIA up 350. All right. Beach Boys in the house. How you doing there, pal? I bought back AI and NVIDIA cash secured puts on this little bump. $4,700 in one day. Thank you, gamblers. Oh, thank you. There you go. You just keep up that good work, buddy. That well done, my friend. Nicely done, Beach Boy. SoFi, 11.10, down 7 cents. All right, SoFi, go. Go, baby, go. Did any of you pull the trigger on SoFi cash secured puts when the stock dipped down to 977 on earnings day? When it was down in the low 10s, did any of you write new cash secured puts on SoFi? 11.11 now, down 6 cents. SoFi wants to go green. It's coming on. GameStop up 55. AI up 78. Rocket Lab up 52. The Dow up 411. Having a bagel isn't hurting the market. Oh, yeah. Go, baby, go. Apple's only down 138 now. It's coming back. Tesla up 255. Microsoft is up 375. Google only down 19 cents. Amazon up 1240. NVIDIA up 369. Meta down a nickel. Goldman up 565. There's a bank sector stock moving. SoFi's about to join these guys. Cisco up 45 cents. ARC up 50. Pfizer up 12. HPQ up 90. We got some good gains going here right now. Unity up 18. AI up 76. Adobe up $5. Netflix up 174. IBM up 236 to 209.08. Go IBM, go. Vanik up 450. Home Depot up 326. Enphase up 311. Palantir up 77. And Uber up 120 a share. Giddy, giddy, giddy up right there. How about all that action? Yes, indeed. Well, we're watching an interesting session. Definitely watching an interesting session. One, I even wrote a $17 June 26 SoFi, Uncle Bruce. It was a great opportunity to write those cash secured puts right on. Bobby, reading local FP page, financial FP page, some house handing out hot dogs last night without candy. They were handing out hot dogs and candy last night. Wow. One is saying Uber was another great opportunity. It got hit hard when they announced their earnings. Some of these stocks are a great way to, you can write credit spreads, put credit spreads. Their earnings come out, the stock drops dramatically. You put credit spreads way behind that low price and wait. 1 week out, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. These are short-term contracts, credit spreads. You're just waiting for the stock to partially recover, and those contracts fall to nothing. IBM is a classic case as well. Now we're watching some of the others here. Microsoft might be another one. You're looking for boring. You're looking for a stock that is going to be very boring for a while now. It had all its excitement, the earnings release, all that has come and gone, and now it's boring time because the news is out. stock bottomed off, and now you're going 5-10% behind the market, 10% behind the market, writing credit spreads and saying, all right, let's let these die. Thank you very much. I'm amazed at how some of you are able to pull off $1 spreads, $2 spreads, $3 spreads, and you're bringing in percentage on your spreads. Like a $1 spread costs you $100 to establish that trade, and you're bringing in 40 cents against a dollar. $43 against a $100 a trade. That's insanity. That's fantastically good. Like really, really good. To bring in that kind of a spread, credit spread, out of the money contracts. They're both going to die worthless, and you keep the $43 plus your 100. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Let's do this again. Let's do this. Let's do 100 of these and bring in $4,300 instead of $43. Yeah, I like this game. Giddy up, everybody. A 427 gain on the Dow right now. Who's complaining? Not me. Very interesting. U.S. construction spending ticks up to a 4-month high. I can see that with all the damage being done by the hurricanes, but I can also see this with all of the bills that Congress passed in the first 2 years of the Biden presidency. All the infrastructure spending, it's starting to kick in here. It's starting to show. And these numbers are really kicking on. If you've been to New York lately, by the way, SoFi 11.15, we're down 2 cents on SoFi. If you've been to New York lately, take a drive. It's almost impossible not to do it. A drive by JFK, drive by LaGuardia Airport. The highways, expressways between those two spots, all on Long Island, heading to Manhattan. You are looking at a construction rebuild happening in New York, and that in Queens and Brooklyn and these areas. Unprecedented. I think the rebuilding project of JFK, the budget is $19 billion, and it is well underway. Certain terminals are all done. They're beautiful. Others are half done, 3/4 done. A lot of the road work is new bridges are going up, flyovers, and the rail extension and the SkyTrain and stuff. It's unfathomable the amount of work being done for the plumbing, the electrical, the waste management, fuel storage, airline needs for catering services, and oh my God, it is truly stunning. It's a pain in the ass to go through if you're a passenger to kind of get in and out of there, but you see the dollars being invested in this airport. LaGuardia, same thing. Rave reviews coming from LaGuardia's revitalization, and these expressways being redone will make things much better. But the dollars are being spent in that area for sure. It is amazing. Anyway, there you go. Ding Savage, new member of this channel. Thank you for joining as a chillin' with Uncle Bruce level. Thank you for coming in on the ground floor of membership. I appreciate it. It's great to have you here. Hopefully we will earn your membership to the gold level, and that you'll become a Gold Bagel level 1 member one day. Love to have you for that. If you become a Gold Bagel member, you can join me every day before this show even starts for the pre-alert show for Gold Bagel members only. And of course, Wednesday nights, 7 o'clock prime time live for Gold Bagel members only on this channel. But hey, Ding, you're here now as a Chillin' with Uncle Bruce member. You can comment and say hi, and you will be welcomed by the gang. Thank you, all of you who are joining us and becoming part of our family here. We love it. It's awesome. 159 thumbs ups have come through here. Thank you for that. Keep those thumbs ups coming in. We're only 41 away from 200 again today. We have 203 people watching right now. Thank you so much for helping out. And the poll question, oh man, 215 of you have answered this poll question. 47% of you are saying that my friends and family say I am using new words when I talk to them, like in the money, out of the money, stink bids, stink offers, cash secured puts, 90-10 rule, poor man cover call writing, credit spreads, iron condors. They're looking at me going, what are you saying? I do not know what this means. It's pretty cool stuff. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for answering that poll question. Yay or nay? Let me know. 47 say yes, 53% say no. It's a pretty good number, actually, thinking about that. Appreciate it. We're up 450 points on the Dow Jones. Higher today than the loss yesterday. We have outdone it. The first half hour has come and gone, and we're surging higher. Fresh cash is coming into this market. Looking good. The Rocket Lab up 55, AI up 84, GameStop up 78 cents to 22.96. GameStop wants to go back to 23. Sofi 11.12 to 11.15 range right now. We're trying to get back to break even. We're very close to doing it on 11.7 million volume on your Sofi. Welcome everyone to the program. Thank you for being here. DraftKings recovers 85 cents today, and I think the put bid increased. The option expires next Friday. Drop already. I just joined, says Ding. DC is in the house. Welcome, my friend. Bobby Atkinson, welcome to the show. Bruce, thank you for getting my facts straight on Woodstock and Hell's Angels. No problem, my man. No problem at all. Juan, welcome to both members. So nice to see the new members joining in, says Juan. Margin called. Hey there, Ding. Welcome. DC is here. Hello, Bobby and everybody. Juan and everyone. Margin call. I got some SoFi cash secured put 10s and 12s, maybe move to 15s already. Maybe, might be time. DC, well worth joining here. Beach Boy bought back Palantir 2026 $20 cash secured puts, 47% gain in 3 weeks. Thank you, dear gamblers. Way to go, buddy. Way to go. Taking the dough off the table. DC is saying averaging 1,000 a week. Swing trading SoFi. Giddy up, baby. That is called making a living and getting away from a day job. Every dollar made makes it better. Well done. Grow that account. Grow the ability to keep growing your returns. Absolutely. You're not going to get a raise at work. You're going to get a raise here, writing more contracts as you learn how to do it. Beautiful stuff, folks. Beautiful stuff. $22.98 on GameStop. $22.98. GameStop is trying to break $23 today. We're up 80 cents. Very interesting. GameStop volume is pushing 1.26 million. Doesn't take much to move it up 60, 70, 80 cents. $22.99 on GameStop. SoFi 11.12, 11.13. Just about back to where we were to start the day. The sell-off is over. Very good. The super microcomputer is only down 80 cents. It's recovering a little bit as well. 28.31 now. Dow up 462 at the moment. Very strong market. Up 60 points on S&P. That's a 1% up move. 242 gain on S&P. On NASDAQ, 1.3% gain on NASDAQ. The Dow's up 1.1%. Very interesting, very, very good market move here. Oil up 155 a barrel. Interesting stuff. Market's going higher with a weak job report today. Remember, the job report, the Boeing strike, the hurricane wipeout, many jobs eliminated quickly, going to take time to recover. All this was expected. All this was anticipated. But the experts were only calling for a 100,000 job increase. In reality, it was 11. Very interesting how that's coming through. Could make rates go down faster, which will make your market go up higher. Interesting stuff. Interesting. We'll follow all that. Thank you all for being here. Giddy up and make the dough and take the gains from the gamblers. If you're a writer, they're handing you the money left, right, and center. 220 respondents now for the poll question. Thank you, everyone, for answering that. 165 thumbs ups are now in the bin. 35 away from 200. You guys are incredible. Thank you very much. If you're watching in the rerun, help us out overnight and get us through 200 and beyond. That is absolutely fabulous. If you're watching over the weekend, hit the thumbs up button on any video you watch on my channel. Thank you very much for the thumbs ups. They're free to hand out and they make a difference. Beautiful. I love it. The poll question, 220 votes, 47% saying yes. My friends and family are beginning to mention you're using different lingo. You talk differently now. What's this market talk? You've never used terms like this before. In the money, out of the money, at the money, calls, puts, credit spreads, iron condors. What's all this talk about? What's this cash secured put stuff? What does this mean? Why are you so happy all the time? Why are you smiling all the time? Why are you talking about the possibility of going on a holiday this winter where you haven't had a holiday in 3 years. What did you win a sports bet or something? Like, where's this money coming from? I heard you got a new TV. Did you weren't you only driving your 20-year-old Toyota? Now you're driving your 5-year-old car, and the other old car you're getting fixed up, the one that's been in your driveway, it's not moving for 2 years. What's going on? There's something going on here. Like, what's happening? And where'd you get that shirt? And what's with those Nikes? What's with those nice shoes? What are you not telling me about what you're doing? A deep value. Rocket Lab is up 115% in the last 3 months. That's right. Cash credits, cap call financing happening there. Sofi 1116 up nicely from $7 in the last 3 months as well. Welcome to the party, pal. These stocks are going higher, and they're making more money, and they're getting better all the time. Giddy up, kids. Here's something interesting. There's a headline here in Barron's magazine that Boeing is offering $119,000 a year to end the strike. Now, how many of you out there are sitting there writing options going, Uncle Bruce, to make $119,000 a year writing options, I don't need to make that much money. If I can pull in a couple of $1,000 a week, that's $104,000 a year. I'm bringing in $2,500 a week already. That's $125,000 a year. I don't have to go to a plane manufacturing factory to make planes. I don't have to wear an overall and a hard hat and goggles and knee pads and boots with steel toes on them. I can make $2,500 a week from my house in my PJs. I can schlep around in the morning and go out for a little walk, take the dog for a little stroll, drop the kids off at school and go to Starbucks and have a coffee or something, or to Dunkin' Donuts, or I'm driving an RV with my wife across the United States, and we're writing options from the RV. I don't want a job at Boeing. $120,000 a year at Boeing. I'm making more than that, living my life of luxury, baby. Yeah, man. Welcome to the party, pals. Kind of interesting how this is going. Anyway, there you go. Margin calls going, why did I only buy 100 for $450? Why didn't I buy more of this stuff? It's gone up so much. What's wrong with me? There you go. Welcome, everybody. Of course, if you've got 100 shares of Rocket Lab, you could sell them right now, turn around and write a $12 cash secured put on Rocket Lab, or a $15 cash secured put on Rocket Lab, and haul in a bunch of dough to really build your cash balance up. Could think of that. You could do something like that. One never know. However you want to play this game, up 66 on Rocket Lab, AI up 94, GameStop is up 62, and SoFi is up 2 pennies. SoFi is green. Has anyone noticed that SoFi is green? 1118 up 2 centinos right now. The Dow's up 520 points. Are we going to now rip SoFi over 1150 and hit a new year high? Is that happening right now? 1119, we just went up again. 12.48 million volume on SoFi. We are through the selling, and we're green again. Third day in a row since earnings. Does anyone get this message? Is anyone noticing this? There's no $7 stock happening here. There's something big-er going on SoFi. I like it. I like it a lot. I like this game. We're up 429 on NVIDIA. Giddy up on NVIDIA too. Welcome to the party, pals. Glad you're here. Thank you for joining us this Friday session. From wherever you are around the world, thank you all for being part of this channel. IBM up 250 now to 209.26. Go IBM, go. I've got people following that very closely. $5 gain on Vanik and a $4.29 gain on Home Depot. Enphase up 3, Palantir up 94, Uber up 141. Yes, sir. There's money in them there hills. AI up 94 cents, Unity up 31. We are going up nicely here. Pfizer up 9, HPQ up 90, Arctic Innovations up 71, Cisco up 65 cents. Oh, yeah. Goldman Sachs up 780. That bodes well for SoFi. Facebook up 450. Meta, Nvidia 430. Amazon up 1334. Google down 22 cents and coming on. Microsoft is up 530. Tesla is up 170. Apple only down 180 a share. Interesting market this morning, kids. Interesting market. Welcome one and all to the program. 2284 on GameStop, trying to get back to 23. SoFi now 1117 to 1120. Go SoFi, go. Rocket Lab 1139, up 70 cents or so. Very nice, very nice markets today out there. Thank you all for being part of this channel. Thank you for joining this channel, everybody. Thank you for renewing your memberships on this channel, everybody. You guys are the best. Thanks for these thumbs ups today, pushing us closer and closer to 200 every day now. 171 are in the bin, 29 left to go. Thank you. 223 votes on the poll question. Thank you for that. Have a great weekend, everybody. Get richer all day long today. And join me and join Auntie Jen on Monday as we get back at it again for another week of fun. And let's see what's going on. I like it. And thank you all for part of this game. DC, I've set a limit for SoFi, 1125 early. Come on. Margin called. I can use them to write cash secured put against the value. That's right. Giddy up, Richard Carlin. Neat. Juan, thank you, Uncle Bruce, for setting us free. Charlie, thanks, Uncle Bruce. Have a great weekend. You too, buddy. Margin call, or the value of the shares is the guarantee. There you go, Splair. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. Juan, let alone telling us the truth at all times. You got it, Juan. Do the best we can with what little I have. Try to keep you informed on where we're at, man. What a world in which we live. 1120 on your SoFi now, up 3 cents on SoFi. Thank you. DC, I'm going to get rich and with your permission, open up Mount Baker Business and call it Uncle Bruce's Bagels. There you go. Giddy up, Splair. My Fubu cash is invested in Spire, up $30, and now I sell it to buy my Fubu callback, plus 21. Making money there, Splair. Beach Boy. Neat. Don't forget the knee emoji is honor the Knights of Knee. Do not forget that. Thank you all, everybody. I'm up 50. I love it, says Splair. Dude, thank you, Bruce. Thank you, dude. Thank all of you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. 1122 on your SoFi. We're up 5 cents. Climbing on SoFi. Here we go. Keep your eye on it. Splair, Octavio, Juan, neat. Margin call, neat. Don't forget those knee emojis. Thank you, everybody. Giddy up all. Octavio, I've been a member for 41 months. Thank you, Uncle Bruce. Have a great weekend, everybody. Children with Uncle Bruce member. Thank you, Octavio. Appreciate you, man. Love it. Keep up the drive alive, everybody. Make a ton of dough. Get richer and enjoy the weekend. We'll see you here Monday, guys. Thank you so very much. Deep value, Splair, and all. Neat. Don't forget. All right, guys. See you a little later. Bye for now.